So the man you see on the screen is considered the greatest marathon runner in the modern era. I'm going to butcher his name, but his name, I believe, is Eliud Kipchoge from Kenya. And just last month, he ran a marathon in 1 hour, 59 minutes, 40 seconds. First person on the planet to break 2 hours. And that's 4 minute, 34 second pace, which at no point of my life have I ever been able to run 4 minutes, 34 second mile. That is really, really fast. What's interesting is it's not considered the world record. It's not considered the world record because it wasn't done at what we call an open race, like the New York City Marathon or Boston Marathon. It was carefully orchestrated where he was the runner. He was the runner, so he had some help from his friends, okay? And to put it in perspective, he had a pace car out in front of him. Something I need, okay? I needed more like a lawnmower in front of me. But he had this team of people running in front of him at various intervals. 41 people ran with him during the race. So 7 at a time formed this, what you see as sort of an inverted V in front of him, and then 2 people on the side to cut the wind in front of him. When you run as slow as I do, you just don't have any wind bothering you. But that team of people literally handed him water bottles along the way. So he didn't have to contend with anyone trying to push him out of the way, didn't have to veer to get water, could just keep the same pace the entire way, and crowds were cheering him on. An utterly amazing athlete, an amazing feat. Just as amazing to me are the many people from Good Shepherd who are endurance runners, and I could talk about a lot of them, but I want to just focus on one today. I saw her parents on the way in. Let me see if I get that. So Brenda and Ernie are here somewhere, but this is their daughter, Sue Kessler, who grew up here at Good Shepherd, spent many years living in Chicago, not the greatest place to run, and now lives up in New England. But Sue has run every single day since January 1, 2000, just about to hit the 20-year mark of running. She got into running, ran her first marathon, then ran her second marathon, then ran her third, then had this idea somewhere along the way that maybe I'll run one in every state. And it seemed like not too long ago she completed that milestone with family present. And then she set this goal of let's get to 100 or more. I don't know what her goal is, but she just ran her 99th. And now she's raising money for St. Jude's Hospital. So every time I see she's announcing she's going to run a race, people are signing up to support her. So soon, 100 marathons under her belt. Another amazing athlete, not as fast as Eliud Kipchoge, but amazing nonetheless. One of the key things all people who run know is that course support is incredibly important when you run. And I speak about this with our new members, but any endurance runner realizes how incredibly important it is to have things like bathrooms along the way, cheering spectators, water, other drinks, snacks. They boost you, and that, I think, helps you persevere through tough times. An endurance runner knows there's going to be multiple stations along the journey where there's going to be volunteers. We show this at all our new member classes. Volunteers who are there, who volunteer their time to hand out water, sports drinks. My favorite is snacks along the way. But if you didn't have that, a race would be just utterly overwhelming. You probably wouldn't make it to the end without it. I ran the Disney Marathon, and at times along the journey, I was just irritated with the people around me. And so it was helpful to have these friendly people handing you stuff and putting you in a decent mood, even if my state of mind was not good. Our text today recalls a scene in which Jesus is teaching in the temple. It's just a few days before his death. You and I know, after he comes into Jerusalem, he's kind of on the hot seat. He's there, and he's now in the temple complex teaching. He is a marked man in what I read just a few moments ago. Forces that be are out to get him. His struggles are just beginning, and he is pausing to teach his disciples important lessons about how they can move forward and how they can have endurance. And he's very honest, tells them this journey of faith is not a cakewalk. He reminds them that this journey of faith at times is difficult. There's obstacles and struggles that at times will make them want to quit. Say, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Jesus teaches them there will be many times that it will feel to them like there's just no core support anywhere in sight. Seems like there's nothing in front of you to quench the soul. He goes on to tell them on this journey there's going to be problems in society. There will be hardships and catastrophes. There will be bad leaders who wreak havoc in the world. There will be personal hardship and struggle that at times will make them say, let's just not keep going with this journey of faith. But he makes it clear, this life of faith is grueling. It'll take much out of you. But Jesus reminds them, I'm with you. Do not fear. In the midst of obstacles and trials and hardship, whenever you feel alone, Jesus says, remember, I am always around the corner to offer you course support. And no doubt he is. I mean, I believe that. Time and time again, I've talked to people of this church who have experienced a lot. You've experienced trial and heartache and illness. And it's heartwarming because so many of you say, Jesus is caring for me. God's people are caring for me, and I feel lifted up and built up. Time and time again, I hear those stories, and it reminds me that Jesus is that water stop on the marathon. His presence is around the corner when we need it the most, and he will be down there even further again and again to help us continue on, even if the current moment seems difficult, even if the world seems to be ready to swallow us up. That was certainly what the early church learned in the midst of their struggles. Luke's gospel does a good job telling that, going all the way into the book of Acts, how this community experienced help and support along the way. And that really helped them to keep going and going and going, sort of like the Energizer Bunny. In those years, we know the early church faced radical opposition. There were people working against them. There were major obstacles that could have easily stopped them. They didn't always have crowds cheering them on. They had a guy named Saul who wanted to kill them and any Christian that he could spot. Unrest was just kind of a part of their everyday existence. There were countless things that could have kept this Christian movement from carrying on. All of them could have said, this just isn't worth it. It's too hard. Some were arrested, and we know some were martyred, killed for their faith. Yet time and time again, they keep saying, we were sustained. We were taken care of. The Spirit came to them, touched their lives, inspired them, filled them. And as a result, what it says in countless places, they reached out in tangible ways, shared their possessions, and shared radical care with the world around them because it mattered. So I have come to see that the image of the early church in my mind is like this gathering, like a water stop on a long, long marathon. It's people who are ready to give away what they have on this journey of faith, people who are dedicated to seeing Christ's mission endure. They're ready to offer hope and encouragement wherever they can. They want to help anybody who comes by and offer them core support so that other people can be inspired to live by faith. I hope that all of us can embrace the fact that this life of faith is never a sprint. This life of faith is really a marathon. It's one in which you and I will experience doubts, we'll experience struggles at times, but when push comes to shove, you and I know that Jesus' presence will just keep showing up, keep reaching out to us, and enable us then to offer hope to other people. As we grow as a congregation, and I'm thankful that we continue to grow. We need to always keep in mind we are that water stop for people on their journey of faith. Our ministry here is really not about us. It is always about how we give away what we have to others. Give it away with enthusiasm. We serve and help others. We are radically generous with others. We want to offer Jesus' message to thirsty travelers. We want to speak words of encouragement and mercy and undeserved love to others. We want to offer a place for people to sit down and pause and think about the journey they're on. You and I, we know we're called to care for those who have hit the wall. And we do encounter that time and time again, people who just are at their wits' end. But we are here, we have great opportunities to nourish others and help them regain the strength for the journey that lies ahead. There's incredible joy in being that water stop for others. Amen.